guys, welcome to another episode of I Just Want to Be Spiritual. Today I'm going to talk about friendships and how my friendships have been a part of my spiritual journey. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my childhood and then the present moment. But first, I want to show, of course, the crystal of the day. Cute little mustardy colored yellow, and this is yellow jasper. There are other colored jaspers. I think there's red jasper and green jasper. I don't have any of those. I have this yellow one, and usually yellow stones, yellow crystals are connected to your solar plexus chakra. Your solar plexus chakra is just right above your belly button, if I'm not mistaken. And it's usually this chakra that deals with your creativity, your confidence, your courage, your willpower, your own personal purpose. And so ideally, this yellow jasper is also a crystal that would encourage you to be confident, to be courageous, to be determined, to believe in yourself. Just, be more fearless and all those different things. So this is a really good crystal to work with, similar to tiger's eye, yellow tiger's eye, if you are trying to build your confidence and want to just be a more confident person. This would be a good crystal for you. I've also heard that this one is good for imagination. So if you were maybe trying to do some manifesting and you wanted to visualize and imagine the life that you want to create, maybe you would work with this one. So again, this is yellow jasper. And it may not look exactly like this one when you go look for it. This is a tumbled stone, so if it was raw or if it was a different type of stone, it may not look like this one. But you can find this usually at any crystal store, and you just ask them and they'll direct you to the yellow jasper. So yeah, this is the yellow jasper. Excuse me. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about friendship. My friends have been a big part of my spiritual journey. I know I've talked a little bit about in the episode where I talked about prayer. I talked about going to church, with friends and having that be something that kind of helped me figure out my spiritual journey and figure out what road I wanted to take on my spiritual journey. So they have played a big part in it. And now I have, a decent group of friends that I know that I can depend on. I have, my core four, which I call them, and then I have other really good friends who may not be as close, but I love them, and I care for them, and I'm always happy to see them. So let me just rewind and start from the beginning. So just a little brief synopsis of where I started from as far as friendships go. I was not very popular in school, elementary, middle, high school. I had a hard time. Elementary school was a little bit easier. I had more friends. It was a smaller school, so we all pretty much knew each other and got along. And it wasn't a terrible time. Normal elementary school, preteen stuff, crushes and all that stuff. So elementary school was pretty cool. I was pretty shy still, and I didn't open up much. I was very introverted. But typical elementary school experience. Middle school got rough. Middle school, I started at a different school, and so I knew some of the kids that were there, and then some of the other kids. It was a bigger school, so some kids came from different elementary schools, and so it was a big difference transitioning from one school to another. I got bullied a lot. I got picked on a lot. That was like the beginning stages of me being bullied and just the deterioration of my self-confidence, my self-worth, just me as a person. I just lost all of that starting in middle school. Continuing on into high school wasn't that great. Not the best experience, was never physical bullying, but the verbal bullying was just as bad. So high school wasn't much better than middle school. And though sadly, those are not times that I look back fondly on. Like, it's still something that I'm working on and working through, because it was so, traumatic for me to have those feelings about myself and just be that emotionally beat down and not have the confidence to stand up for myself. Something that still, affects my life at 30 years old. So there is something that I'm aware of and that I'm working on. But that is where it all started for the most part. So yeah, high school, wasn't that great. Didn't have a lot of friends, really, not close friends. And then graduating, I didn't keep in contact with anybody really. And I didn't have a lot of friends outside of school. So once I graduated, I didn't really go anywhere. I didn't do much of anything socially on my own. I mostly, if I went somewhere, I was with my mom. And I lived with my mom and just stayed in the house. If I went out, I was with her. And I was very codependent on her. I was very needy because I was afraid to make friends. So I was making her be my friend, which eventually got old for her, obviously, because we're not friends. So she got tired of that. But I still, I just wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't trusting of people. I didn't want to make friends. And it was a scary thought. And so without having that self-esteem and that confidence, there was just no way I was going to make friends. So up until the point I was, I'd say 24, 25, I didn't have any friends whatsoever. Like, to call and be like, hey, do you want to go out? No, not really, just not my thing. Anyway, so, well, I guess around the age of 22, I did make a friend who's one of my best friends now, like my little sister, Dara. I did make friends with her around, I think I was like 22, but it was still different. We didn't really like go out and do stuff. She was younger than me, and she had her own group of friends who I was not interested in meeting, did not want to meet new people. Like, I'm just getting to know you. Let's not start adding people in the mix. Like, just, calm down. So I had her as a friend, but we would mostly hang out at my house or at her house because our moms were also friends. So they would go out and do their thing, and they wanted both of us to hang out because we were both kind of like clinging to them and just kind of like hanging on to them and tagging along. So they were like, y'all just hang out together and leave us alone. So that's what we did, but we didn't really do much socially. It wasn't like a big group of us. It was just me and her at my house, at her house, or whatever. So it took me a couple years after meeting her to actually develop a social life outside of my mom or my home. And that came when I started working at a preschool. I started working there, and I really wasn't trying to make friends with anybody. I was just trying to be nice for the 8-9 hours I was there, go home and, let that be that. But that didn't go that way. Luckily, thankfully. And to this day, that job is where I have met a majority of my good friends and almost all of my best friends. I met my one friend, Monica, there, and she's just so lively, so bubbly, extroverted, life of the party, social butterfly. Never met a stranger in her whole life. And she's just super easy to get along with because she loves everybody. She's very friendly. And she wanted to be friends with me. At the time, I had super low confidence, so I didn't understand why. Why do you want to be my friend? Like, you're weird. And to this day, we still laugh about it because I really thought she was weird because she would not leave me alone. She would always invite me to go out and hang out, and I would be like, no, I can't. I don't, I can't really go out today. Or I'd make up an excuse, and I just thought she was weird because she was like asking me to hang out. And looking back on it, that's not really a weird thing to ask somebody to hang out and like want to be somebody's friend. But to my, introverted self, I didn't trust people. And so I was like, well, why do you want to hang out with me? What do you want from me? I don't trust you. I do not want to hang out with you. And then eventually I was like, okay, I'll go out. And I did. And I had a fun time. And then from there, it just kind of spiraled into going out more and being more open to being around other people. And I was able to kind of put myself out a little more. So I wasn't interested in making friends per se, but I would at least put myself in social situations if Monica was there with me. And I remember a lesson that I learned while I was in therapy, because Monica and I were getting closer and considering each other best friends, and we would go out to lunch together on our lunch breaks. And one time she invited somebody else to go out to lunch with us, and it just was like, I was very jealous and envious, and oh, that's your best friend now. And then doing therapy, talking to my therapist, it was like, well, why are you so upset about that? And so I had to really consider the behavior and where that's coming from. And it was me being insecure. It was me not knowing what friendship looked like, not knowing how to be a friend, and having to be secure within myself and know that just because my friend has another friend doesn't mean that I'm not important anymore, or she doesn't want to be my friend anymore, or she wants to be everybody's friend, so that means that I'm not special. I had to get past that point. So that was a learning experience for me and a part of my spiritual journey, with building my confidence and my friendship, and just knowing that I'm a good person. People like me, and I don't need to be insecure. So that's what my friendship with Monica taught me. I have another friend that I met at the same job named Patty. She's more quiet and introverted, as I'm like me. So it was actually easier to get along with her because we were both kind of similar. It kind of just worked because we understood each other. We still understand each other. I know that she's such a caring and loyal friend. I know that she is going to be there for me no matter what. And she's always going to show up for me. And that makes me know that I can trust her, which allows me to feel more okay with being vulnerable with her, because I know that I can trust her as a friend, as a person. She's very kind heart. And so it just makes it easier to be her friend. And so at that time, I had already opened up to Monica. I think I met Monica before Patty. I honestly don't remember, but I think I met them around the same time, or started hanging out with them around the same time, because they were friends. I think they were friends before I started hanging out with either one of them. And so I started hanging out with the both of them together, and they just have different personalities, and it bring different things to my life that I need. Monica pulls that extroverted side out of me, and forces me to have fun and get out of my shell and out of my head. And Patty speaks to that introverted side of me that is more quiet, introspective, and those different types of things. But they both were able to help me learn what a friend is. And so I appreciate them both for that. Then I met so these are the core four. So we have Dara, we have Patty, and Monica. Those are three. And then the fourth of the core four that I call them, because those are like my besties, is Christine. And Christine, I call her my soul teacher. Christine and I were co-teachers. She came in to the classroom where I was, and we co-taught. And she is also very extroverted, very lively, never met a stranger, just very bubbly, talkative, and very easy to get along with. And by that time, I was used to it because I had already been around Monica, so it wasn't as weird, but it was still weird. But she is also very gentle in a way. So I always say she's like, we're like the same person, except for she is outwardly expressive and I am inwardly expressive. So her and I are very similar in personalities. We have a lot of the same thought patterns. When we were working together, we started realizing like we could finish each other's sentences, or when one person was getting ready to talk or say something, the other person was like, I was just about to say that. Like, it just was so many synchronicities and so many like similarities and just things like that we could read each other. And if one was having a bad day at work, then the other one would be like, okay, I need to step it up today because she is not feeling it today. So it just was a really good balance. That was the best year of teaching I had at that school, I think. And I had so much fun. I learned so much. She taught me so much about myself, about teaching. And the thing that I really appreciated about her friendship and still appreciate is that she showed me a different way. She showed me how to socialize and to be extroverted, but she also accepted the fact that I was introverted and that I was shy and I was awkward and things were uncomfortable for me, and she didn't make me feel badly about that. And that was new for me, you know. I didn't feel badly about being myself. I felt like it was okay to be me. It was okay to be Casey. She never made me feel badly about myself or, you know, my quirky ways or whatever. She would tease me, but it was always with love. And so her friendship definitely changed like a lot for me. All of my friends means something different and something special to me, and her place in my life was to be what I call a soul teacher. She taught me a lot of soul work, how to be a kind person and treat people with kindness and with respect and make people feel good about themselves and not be afraid to give compliments to random strangers and say how you feel. And if you like something, express it, and just express myself and not feel badly about it. And just by watching her interact with people, you know, day to day, made me say, oh, it's okay to be that way. It's okay to talk to people and make conversation and not have a wall up all the time. So it was very like eye-opening for me. And I had already kind of learned that by being friends with Monica, and Christine just kind of like came in and sealed the deal because we worked together like in the classroom every day, all day. I was able to like watch her and observe and see and then kind of like emulate it in my own way. And to this day, like I always tell her, you taught me so much, and I feel like you changed my life, because things that I did before, I think back and I'm like, I don't know how I was that person, you know, before, because I was so shy, and now it just comes naturally to make conversation, to be social, to be okay with myself. And I just really needed that life lesson. And I will always have gratitude and love for her being there for me in that space at that time in my life, because that was in the midst of me having my quarter life crisis. So amongst having anxiety attacks and all this new mental stuff that I'm trying to figure out, smack in the middle of that, I got one of my lifelong friends, and I really needed that. So I feel like they all just kind of like gelled. My core four, they all bring something different to my life. They're all so like special and important to me, and they're all just such kind-hearted women, strong women, smart women, faithful women, you know, curious. They just really like, they all have such individual, wonderful personalities that add so much value to my life that I'm very, very thankful to God and universe for allowing me to be a part of their lives and allowing them to be a part of mine. And I have so much love and respect for all of them. And outside of my core four, in that job that I had teaching preschool, I also met other friends that I love dearly. I met my friend Gay, who is so similar to me also. We got along like nothing, you know, just gelled immediately. We were both kind of introverted and kind of shy at first, but once we got to know each other, it was like we'd known each other for a long time. And she also, I am a big, huge fan of sea turtles. It's my favorite animal in the whole wide world. She is also, and so she is my turtle friend for life. So I love her to death too. She's the sweetest person you ever want to meet. Super kind, loving, and a great teacher. So I'm so thankful to have her in my life also. And then my friend Natasha is an amazing, soon to be occupational therapist, on her way. And she's also just super sweet and super nice, and she was a great teacher. She's going to be a great occupational therapist. And she's just been a really good source of positive energy in my life, motivation, encouragement, support. You know, she's always been there if I needed her. So I just really appreciate her friendship also. And yeah, I just, you know, I have other friends that I care about and that I love. I'm not excluding anybody purposefully. If I forgot anybody, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but this is my story about my friends that have changed my perspective, have been instrumental in my spiritual journey, and have allowed me to grow in a way that I didn't know was possible, because growing up I didn't have friends or confidence. And so watching and observing them and having their friendship has changed my life and my perspective, and allowed me to grow into a really good friend and somebody who's open to making friends, because that was not the case before. And so I just wanted to highlight those, you know, friends that I have that have been there for me for years and have taught me a lot. So like I said, I hope I didn't forget anybody. I know that I have had friends in the past who have been really special to me, who still are special to me, and we may not be as close, we may not talk, but I always care for them. I love them. I will always be here for them, you know, but seasons and times change, people grow apart, and that's, you know, how life is. But I hold no animosity in my heart for anybody. So yeah, I felt like I went all over the place, but yeah, that has been my friendship journey. Friendship has been such an important part of the journey, the spiritual journey for me, because it teaches you a lot about yourself when you're able to open up to other people. You can't go through life just being by yourself. You have to be able to be open to receiving love from other people. And so friendship is a great way to do that. And so I'm very grateful to all my friends, for loving me, caring for me, teaching me, inspiring me, all those different things. And I'm grateful for the friends that I've had in the past that have come and gone, or, you know, we're not as close. I'm also grateful for them too. And any future friends that I may have, I'm also grateful for them. So yeah, that is my friendship episode. Shouts out to my friends for letting me talk about them. Thank you guys for letting me talk about you on this video. Hello Dara, hello Monica, Patty, Christine, Gay, Natasha. Hi all my friends. Thank you guys for supporting me. Oh, I forgot my friend Nicole. Oh my gosh, I can't forget Nicole. Nicole is also super bubbly, super fun, very spiritual, intuitive, very peaceful and calm, and just a real sweetheart. So she's also been somebody who has been somewhat of a spiritual teacher as well. So I do not want to forget about you, Nicole, because you are also always on my heart. So yeah, I hope I didn't forget anybody else. Yeah, so I will be seeing you guys next episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And also let me know what you guys want to see me talk about next. I would love to share some more of my thoughts on different things. I have other topics that I will be discussing, but let me know what you guys would like to see. And I can make a video of that. I'm trying to get to 100 followers. So please help me like, subscribe, and share all those good things so I can get to reach my goal and keep going. All right. Thanks for watching this episode, and I will see you guys next time.